Hey everybody, this is Aaron, and you're listening to the Oxrageous Post-game podcast for Florida and LSU. Well, where to start? If that wasn't a classic Muschamp era Gator game, I don't know what is. Florida had this game won and lost several times. It went back and forth. And part of you felt like they would somehow find a way to lose it at the end, and they did. Again, I'm not really sure where to start. I guess we can talk about the offense first. You know, we've struggled on offense the last few years under Muschamp and two other offensive coordinators, so we went out and we got another offensive coordinator. So in theory, we could have a real offense. But what do we see tonight? We see the same offense since Muschamp's first year. Running and short throws, side to side, short throws under 10 yards, all day. And right up until the end of the game, Driscoll had less than 100 yards passing. And that's exactly how it was 3 years ago. So what are we blaming for that these days? Injuries? Starting quarterback isn't injured. Jeff Driscoll's the guy. Offensive line actually playing pretty decent. Does it matter who the offensive coordinator is? It doesn't matter. Our questions have been answered. Muschamp is the offensive coordinator of the Florida Gators. We've seen enough to safely draw that conclusion. What Kurt Roper's thinking, I don't know. But of course, nothing in his past points to this kind of offense. Jeff Driscoll was dreadful again. He'll go in these horrible stretches, turn the ball over, he had a fumble, he had a pick, occasionally make a decent pass, and then it would get dropped. Underthrowing guys, overthrowing guys, finally makes a nice deep throw at the end of the game. Best one he's had in a long time. But that's the frustrating part about Driscoll. No consistency at all. Then he throws what should be the winning touchdown, and our guy drops it. Overall, the defense played poorly, too. One thing you got to keep in mind, this is the worst LSU team in years. It might be the worst LSU team in the Les Miles era. And they struggle more on offense than we do. Of course, the defense had a real hard time with that running back, who I think had 8 runs of over 10 yards. And the secondary wasn't asked to do anything because their passing game was worse than ours. That is, until it's 3rd and 25 at the end of the game, and their receivers running wide open. 41 yards on a 3rd and 25 from a team that can't pass. And why? Blown coverage again. Well, we all know who the secondary coach is. No reason to go into all that again. Even after all that, we get another chance. We only need 25 yards to get in field goal range to win the game. And Driscoll makes another bad decision, throws a poor pass, gets picked. LSU kicks an amazing field goal to win it. I've only scratched the surface of the frustrations there are watching this team. And the most frustrating thing is we never really seem to get any better. And looking ahead, what are we going to see? We're going to see the same stuff. Muschamp's not going anywhere. There's no reason to keep screaming for his head. It's useless. Jeff Driscoll isn't going anywhere. Anyone who thinks they're just going to hand over the reins to a freshman, it's not going to happen. Driscoll is the guy. And what we're going to hear all week is all the positives that we took out of this game. Driscoll made some big plays down the stretch. That's what we're going to hear. Jeremy Foley's probably drawing up a contract extension right now. Let's take a brief look at the box score. Well, we actually eased over 300 yards on the game due to those last couple of drives. 306 yards. That's a lot for us. 183 yards passing. 183 yards. And we're at the point we see 183 yards passing. Like, wow, great game. It's pathetic. We had someone start a poll this week. How many yards will Jeff Driscoll throw for? 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 150 to 200, or 200 plus. The first 17 people that voted, only one picked he'd throw for over 200 yards. That's what the fans think. 1 out of 17 people thinks we can throw for a lousy 200 yards. And sure enough, we didn't do it. Even with that bomb at the end of the game, he couldn't reach 200 yards. I'm fed up with the pathetic passing game at Florida. If the quarterback can't throw, then get a new quarterback. If the receivers can't catch, sit him down. Quentin Dunbar, sit him down. Jeff Driscoll, also our leading rusher by far, with 71 yards on the ground. Of course, he ran 21 times. We didn't hand off tonight. I guess Matt Jones was hurt. Kelvin Taylor had 2 carries, Matt Jones 4 carries. Weird game. And LSU ran for 195 yards, so we didn't do too well stopping the ground game tonight. But Gator football is just painful these days. I used to get really upset over games like this. A few years ago, I would have been furious about that loss, but as he lined up for the field goal, I knew he was going to make it. Everybody knew he was going to make it. And this is the kicker that shanked an extra point earlier in the game. But so what? We all knew it was going through. This era of Gator football is just cursed. And I know we're going to look back someday and laugh, but for right now, it sucks. Anyway, I'm done venting. I appreciate you listening. Wish I could leave you with some positive words, how it's going to get better, but I don't feel that way. So, try to put this one behind you. Have a great week, and go Gators.